This season in Championship, we've got one of the best automatic promotion races in history. There's 3 teams there that could still all finish on 100 points each and drop points on way. Leeds, Leicester, Ipswich, and even if you throw Southampton in there as well, the 4 best Championship teams that we've ever seen in terms of point tellers that they're all going to finish on. The highest ever recorded points to not get top 2 is 90, which was Sunderland in 97-98, who then lost playoff final. Brighton as well in 2015-16, they got 89 points. They lost in semis to Wednesday, who lost in final anyway. There could be 2 teams in one season that break that record this season. Now, to actually get to 90 points, Ipswich only need to win 1 more game, Leeds need 4 more points, Leicester need 5. So, most likely with 4 games left, that record will be broken. Which, it could honestly come down to it, where a team finishes on 100 points and don't get promoted. That's how mental these teams are, how high the quality is this season at top of champ. And even though there is a bit of a point gap now from top 2 down to Southampton, any of these 4 could still get auto. Southampton have got games in hand on them where if they win them, they only go 6 points behind Leeds in second. So it's not impossible. Anything could happen still. There's no better place to start, is there really, than with these dirty Leeds should be in a mess, really. Basically, half the squad had loan options for him if they got relegated from Prem, which is just a genius move by whoever put all them clauses into the contracts. So a lot of the big names from last year in Premier League have left. You know, Harrison, Sinisterra, Aronson, Christensen right back, Mark Rocker. There's loads, and they've all gone on loan. They've not got money for these. They've not got fees for these players. They've all gone on loan. But again, this could put Leeds in a good place because when you do go up, then you can sell all these players with what is a big transfer budget anyway, because Leeds aren't shy, as we all know. To add to what is already a very good squad, you're going to be able to spend some money. So to lose all these players and then have to basically turn to youth that you've got at your club, which is still obviously very serious talent. You know, you've got Nonto for about 4 million quid, Somerville for about 1.5, Archie Greyfruit Academy. These are really, really good players. But then at the same time, you spent 35 million quid on Ruta last season before you come down. You've come down and bought Pirro from Swansea for 15 million quid. So if your 50 million quid forward line don't get you promoted, then it's equally as embarrassing, isn't it, really? You should be pissing it. And even though they do score a shed load of goals, this feels weird, like bumming over leagues like this, but they score a lot of goals, but defensively, they're unreal. They're so solid defensively. They're not conceded a goal from open play since last year, which is ridiculous. Even though they could have conceded about 7 at home to Leicester, but that's a completely different thing. The way that Farkas set him up, it's just a cheat code for this division. It really is. He's showing and proving his experience in this league. After getting promoted from here twice with Norwich, but obviously he's not that good because he gets relegated every time he gets promoted, so that could be what's to come for Leeds. Realistically, is a sausage that can't adapt and needs one of the 2 biggest budgets in the league to do anything. Back down to reality there with what I actually think of Leeds. But regardless of all that, let's get into it. Let's have a look at the running, all right? The momentum that they're on is ridiculous. They haven't lost a game in Championship this year. In fact, they've only dropped points twice, and that were to Huddersfield and Watford away. They've won 13 and drawn 2 in the last 15 games this year. It's unheard of. It's honestly stupid, that running. But the running is tough, and thank God it's quite hard, because the games that have marked as a win straight off bat are Sunderland and Blackburn, and that is probably it. Coventry away are another team that's going for it in playoffs, so they're always going to be an hard team to beat. Borough away will be a tough one, even though they have been quite crap at home really this year, but they've started picking it up a bit recently. QPR, a relegation threatened side, but that don't mean anything because they can get wins from anywhere. They've got a really good manager. They play a nice style of football sometimes. And then that game at end against Southampton could decide all 4 teams' fate, honestly. Worlds might collide for that fixture. That is going to be something to watch, seriously. If I'm putting predictions on them, though, to get point tellers at end, obviously, then Coventry, I could see them losing. Which don't look good from my point of view, does it? Because you're going to think, well, he's just a biased little he's jealous. But no, generally, I think they might lose to Coventry. Coventry are a really good side. Win away at Middlesbrough. This is going to help either. I think they might draw at QPR. QPR are a good side, man. The league position don't mean niche, and these teams are fighting for something. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to explain myself. Who are you? Like, we all know that Leeds have got this insane open atmosphere, aren't they? Very, very intimidating. Except when they're losing and they don't turn up and there's 10,000 empty seats. But that, well, we're not getting into that, are we? I reckon they might beat Southampton. I really do. So if my calculations are correct here, that will put Leeds on 99 points. Which surely is enough, really. But I can't hear any fat birds singing yet. Let's work it out, okay? Let's work it out. Let's get into it. Leicester up next. Leicester should be home and dry. At Christmas, there were 17 points clear of third. 17 points. Do you know how bigger a gap that is? 17 points at any stage of season, even if it's after first 8 games. That's a mental amount of points to be in front. Never mind this being one of the best promotions races ever in Championship. This would be the biggest bottle job in football history. This is worse than Barca against PSG. It's worse than Peterborough against Wednesday. This is one of the worst if they fuck this up. 17-point gap to now being third. Like, I've got to say, it's been coming. I've been saying for months, Leicester play crap football. It is horrendous. All these other lads, like Leeds, Southampton, Ipswich, they play nice stuff to an extent with some of them. Leicester don't. They're just terrible. It's honestly like watching Sunday League. They win every game, or they will win every game because they've got better players than everybody. But recently, they've been getting found out and started dropping points for it, which is a good thing. I don't want a team to go up just because they've got better players than everybody, because they've got 7th biggest wage bill in the country and they're spending 200 million quid. Fuck that. Recently, just in league, they've only won 2 out of the last 7. Right, 4 losses against Middlesbrough, QPR, shoving Bristol City. Christ alive. And that same QPR that had 2 shots on target against them all game and they both went in. And then the other loss were away at Leeds. Now, the Leeds-Leicester game, still in my head, were a really, really strange one. Because that, from what I watched, I thought was the best that Leicester have played all season. I thought Leicester were really, really good in that game. The chances they created, they could have had about 5, and that's genuinely not even an exaggeration if you watched the game. But then they shit the pants. They got to 80th minute and just completely crumbled. And obviously that's when all Leeds fans actually turned up, because before that they were all dressed as empty seats, so it was silent. Literally like a library. But again, I'm not going to talk about Leeds' atmosphere, right? Because that's just a completely different thing. The shit when they're losing. Best fans in the universe. Fucking hell. But what really stood out to me, just as an early comparison between Leeds and Leicester, is watching them both away at Chelsea in Cup. Right? They both got that fixture the last couple of months. Leicester went and lost 4-2. And yeah, I said that they could have gone and scored 5 at Leicester, but they could have conceded 10 or more at Chelsea. 4-2 loss was such a very flattering result because they were shocking. They were honestly horrendous. Whereas Leeds could and probably should have won that game, which is mental. But Leeds were better side away at Chelsea and Leicester were crap. There's a big gulfing quality between how the team actually plays between them. There really is, I'm going to say it. Running time! This is tough. And like I said the other day, if you can't beat Bristol City, who might as well not exist, they just finish 14th every year, then you don't deserve to go up. And then they went and lost. So that just shows where Leicester are, really. They've got the mental capacity of a sausage. They're nowhere near it. Norwich were a good win. All right. The next 3 games are against relegation-threatened side, which sounds easy, but it's not. Because these sides are fighting for their lives, you know what I mean? They've got something to play for. But that don't mean anything either, because Bristol City have got nothing to play for and bet you. So, honestly, if you're a team that's going for 100 points to get promoted, you've got to beat these sides, like Birmingham, which I think they will. I do think they'll beat Birmingham. Even though, like I said in the relegation video, I think Birmingham can try and nick points from anywhere now we wrote. I think they'll beat them. Millwall away, they will lose. Clip that shit. Swear down, Neil Harris is just going to... No. It's just the Millwall way, innit? I think Millwall will win that. They'll beat Plymouth. West Brom's tough as well. They don't lose a lot, but I think they'll beat them, genuinely. Southampton, I think they might lose. I'm just making it interesting, you know what I mean? I think they'll lose Southampton, beat Preston and beat Blackburn. Yeah. So, calculation time. That's an extra 15 points, yeah, 5 wins, 2 losses in the last 7. And that puts them on 100. In front of Leeds as well. I'm not just fixing this so that they finish in front of Leeds, by the way. I honestly believe that this will happen with all fixtures. So, that's 140 Premier League for Leicester. We've one of the most expensive teams in England outside at top 6 and biggest wage bill. What an underdog story, man. Congrats, Leicester, honestly. Well, that's 20th place sorted next season in Prem anyway. Well done. In fact, they might not even go up yet. We've got Ipswich and Southampton, haven't we? Who knows? Speaking of which, Southampton. It is probably too late for them now, but we'll have a quick word on them anyway, just out of respect, you know what I mean? We're paying homage to Southampton. Football that they play is beautiful. It really is. But sometimes there's just too much fannying about. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to play a certain way, especially out front back, which is nice and it's nice to watch. But you are Southampton. You are not Man City. You do not have the players to facilitate for the way you're trying to play. And it annoys me when teams like Southampton try and play this way constantly and are so stubborn about it. Because small teams that play like this, you're going to make so many mistakes all the time. Which Southampton have. They've conceded the same amount as Ipswich, but scored a lot less. Conceded a lot more than Leeds and Leicester. In fact, they've conceded the same amount as QPR. We're in 16th. How can you concede this many goals, not have the goals scored to compensate for it, and expect to go up? You can't. Sometimes, just lumping it can be a best mate, all right? Which Russell is so stubborn. He's a fantastic manager. But to non-stop play out from back against teams that non-stop pressure, you are asking for trouble. It don't have to be just a hopeless lump. Southampton can hit channels a lot. They've got Sheringham and Armstrong up front. They're not shy. They're strong. They're both nippy. They can play like that. I do think especially at the start of this season, like the 5-0 to Sunderland, They conceded 4 to Leicester. They conceded 4 to Norwich, all in space of about 2 weeks. That has fucked them up. And they've been playing catch-up ever since. And Bazunu is crap. But anyway, moving on. Running, they basically need to win every game, don't they, to catch up. And they've still got to play Leicester and Leeds in the last 3 games. So they'll be doing it hard way if they do it. And Blackburn is a tough game, as we've seen. But I think they'll win that, to be honest. I think they'll win that at home, to be honest, against Coventry. Watford is probably a win. Preston's probably a win, even though they're going for it as well. We might have a chance here. We might have a chance of something here. Cardiff away. You know what? Why not? I won't give them a win. Let's make it interesting. Come on, Southampton. Come on. Leicester away. Don't I have Leicester away as a win? I said that earlier. Let's go back in time a minute. I'm sure I said Leicester away are a win. Southampton. I think they might lose. Yeah, I did. Stoke at home. Win. Hold the door. We might have something special here. Oh, Leeds away last day. I gave them a loss. Maybe we don't. Maybe we close it door, actually. 7 wins, 1 loss from the last 8 games. 21 points on board, gives them 95. You know, we nearly had something great there. What a great shame. That's enough, though. Playoffs it is. Well done, Southampton. But unlucky at the same time. 95 points and not going up. That is rough. Ipswich last. Where do you even start with Ipswich, right? I feel like it's so easy to just say, like, oh, I told you so. Because a few people had these to do well this season, including me, because I'm a genius. But I didn't see it going this well, so I can't say I told you so, did I? Because he got it wrong. I think I had him to finish 6-4-7 before the season started, something like that. I didn't for a second think that they'd be anywhere near this point salad that they're on, or regardless of where they finish, even if they come 4th, if they touch 95-ish points, that is absolutely mental. From a League One team to go straight up into this, it's crazy. Now, when we played them last season, I think it was 3rd last game, something like that. We had Ipswich at home. I'm a Barnsley fan, unfortunately, in case you didn't know. And they came to us, and we've been quite good all season. We were a really good team, actually. You know, we lost in playoff final against Wednesday in last second to fucking win us. What? But we lost to corrupt officials. As everyone knows, if you've got a brain, you know that was robbery. So, but yeah, anyway, we were a good side, and Ipswich came to us and arseholed us 3-0. Absolutely bummed us. And I'm not just saying this to take piss, but they are one of the best teams that I've ever seen us play. And it's not an exaggeration at all. I've seen us play some of the best championship teams ever. Like the Wolves team that went and absolutely pissed league, the Burnley sides before, Brighton, Newcastle, teams like that. Ipswich are generally right up there, and this is when they're in League One. And they compete with the best championship sides that I've ever seen. The style of play is best in league. They've scored most in league by a mile. They've got best coach in McKenna and one of best 11s on paper. Don't get me wrong, their 11 is nowhere near that of like Leeds, Southampton, Leicester. It's not even close, really. A lot of these players were top League One championship players at the time when McKenna come in. But he has turned them into superhumans. He honestly has. It's something else. The biggest asset in this league is him. In terms of like how important an individual is to a team or a club in this division, McKenna is that. He's the biggest asset in this league. They've got 1 loss in 10 games and 9 wins. They're in serious form at right time. Similar to Leeds as well. They've had the blips earlier in the season that Leicester are having now, and it's perfect time to be having it. The good form I'm on about, not Leicester's. That's absolute worst time. And an annoying thing is that people keep branding Ipswich as being lucky, like getting late goals, a lot of deflections, shit like that. But there is nothing unlucky about having most XG every game, about having most shots every game, most possession, about dominating every single game, which is what Ipswich do. There's nothing lucky about that. The better side in borderline every single game that they've played this season. And even if you want to say that it is lucky, when you're going for promotion, you need these little things to go your way. That's what separates you from getting promoted and not. Luck. Everybody's got to have an element of luck to win anything. And running-wise, I'll tell you what, if they go up top 2, they deserve it. Obviously. Norwich away, I don't think they'll win. I'll start there because Norwich will be up for this just to try and ruin Ipswich's chances of going up. Plus, playoffs as well, they're a good side. Norwich in one of the most pathetic derbies ever. But anyway, Ipswich in this game, they said to Edwin Norwich, are terrible. They are shocking. And these things do come into play. They've not won 13 games in this derby. That could be playing on the minds a bit. It's definitely something that fans are going to be thinking about. And maybe they don't want to admit it, but players will be thinking about stuff like that. And like I say, I don't think they'll win it. But at the same time, I don't think they'll lose. I'll give them a draw in that. Watford, they should beat with ease, to be honest, even though Watford are all right recently. Borough, same again, even though they've been picking up a bit recently. I think they should beat Middlesbrough quite comfortably. Hull away is a tough game, but they might be out of it. They might be out of playoffs by then. They probably will be, so I'll give them a win for that as well, Ipswich. Coventry away. Coventry again? Coventry are playing everybody. Are they actually playing everybody? No. They can decide who goes up, though. They've got Leeds, Southampton and Ipswich all to play. And I reckon they beat Ipswich, you know. Because like especially these type of games, they're going to be going to a full Rico who might need to get points here to get into playoffs. It'll be fucking bouncing. I think Ipswich might shit themselves there a little bit and Coventry will win. And I just don't see our season that's gone on here that it don't go to final day. I feel like it's written in stars for this to go to final day. Well, I'll give them a loss at Coventry and then they'll beat Huddersfield on last day to take it there. So that's 1, 4, 7, 10, 13 points. Add a tier 87. That is 100 points for Ipswich Town. Woo! So, final table from me. I really hope I'm right here. I've not been harsh at all with any team. This is just the way that I see it going as a completely neutral, 100% unbiased football fan. 100 points for Leicester and Ipswich. Leicester will probably win it on goal difference because they've not conceded a lot. So Ipswich second. Leeds third, just missing out on top 2 with 99 points. What a shame. And then Southampton fourth. So Leicester and Ipswich, congrats boys. You've been given the seal of approval from the football oracle himself. At least one of you is coming straight back down because Leicester are terrible. And that means Leeds and Southampton going to the playoffs. Southampton, I'm afraid that 95 points and no promotion is a new record because you're most likely going to get West Brom in playoffs. And even though you've done double over them this season, a 2-1 and a 2-0, I think West Brom will do Southampton when it matters in playoffs. I think Carlos is honestly him. Very, very good manager. I think he'll set him up in a certain way against them, like just for special one-off games. And I think West Brom will do him. I really do. So that means West Brom will go through, and then Leeds will be very, very difficult to beat. I feel like if you get playoffs, you just don't want to come up against a team like Leeds because it's got like, even though I take piss, Ellen Road, when it is good, it is really, really good. So I don't think any team would go there and win. And I genuinely think, regardless of who gets 6th, Leeds would beat them. So it'd be a Leeds-West Brom final. And who do I think could win? Well, obviously I want West Brom to win, but who do I think could win? I am Timmy Gareth Jr. I've got to... West Brom will win it playoffs, and the fucking come on the baggies! And that's done. So let me know what you think, as always. Let me know who you think's going up. This is my 3rd video now, so... Where the flip is my Lambo? But thanks for watching, gents and lady gents, as always, and I'll see you later. Love you all.